Hello and welcome to another 2v2 dual commentary with me, James, and
Peter.
this is a seed. We thought we'd mix up a little bit, and at the beginning you can see, well, obviously, that my cannons have just been attacked by his cannons, but oh well. I'm just going to show you what troops I've brought quickly. I've got lots of melee troops like Shigitai and Katana Kachi because they're very effective once you get inside the castle, and I've got one line infantry. Lieutenant Donovan's time team, United States Marines basically, and my cannons. And what do you have, Peter?
I've brought my Royal Marines, my French Marines, 3 units of Shogun, my Armstrong guns, and a unit of Yarikachi to defend them on the hill.
Yeah.
A unit is running from
so
the
at the beginning,
sir.
you can just basically see there's a back and forth between the cannons, and well, this is basically when you bring cannons, you don't want to rush in without causing any damage, of course. So you just go in there, cause as much damage as you can, and as you can see, we've been targeting his line infantry because when line infantry is on the fortifications, they can do serious damage to you. You want to try and whittle that down.
Yeah, that's right. And you see me ignoring his wooden cannons because wooden cannons really aren't worth the ammunition because their damage is very little, and the best they can do is really just stumble a unit of line infantry.
Yeah, but sometimes you can get incredibly lucky with wooden cannons to take out other cannons, which has happened to me.
Yeah, and as you can see, they've already destroyed one of my cannons, which
I remember at this time that you were getting very angry because he destroyed a cannon. There it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I can't blame you for that. Anyway, so the plan was to attack this tent tube because sometimes when you destroy the tent tube, it kills a couple of troops behind, and they're trying to hide their troops behind it. So we thought we'd try that.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at our cannons and seeing how much ammo we have left. My cannons are out or something. I can't see them. I think they may have. Okay, for some reason my cannons are gone, but yours are still there. And you're doing pretty well. You've got quite a lot of kills. Does it tell you how much ammunition they have left, or you can't tell?
I haven't got that unit card up, but I think I'm on about half ammo now.
Alright. So everything's looking fine and dandy. His wooden cannons have been pathetic, to say the least. But now he's using his own cannons to lay down some death. Oh yeah, this is what must have happened. He must have destroyed my cannons with his cannons. I mean, he could do that. He could destroy my cannons, but then again, he's not going to have any ammunition left for my troops. And with such a heavy investment, you really need to whittle down the troops. Because once you've used up your cannons' ammunition, it's just dead weight, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be honest, when you bring cannons, when they cost so much, especially when they're leveled, you really want to aim for the line infantry.
Especially the Marines.
Yeah, so you want to go for the high value troops so that it will pay off for you to bring them.
I mean, even if he does kill my cannons, and it's sort of like a trade-off because he's only got a couple of cannons left operating, it sort of works in our favour anyway because we still have more troops left even if we have both lost our cannons.
Yeah, and you can see I've hidden my units in the trees so that even if he did try and target my troops, he'd have very little chance of hitting them.
Yeah. Also, I've noticed that he started using his cannons to go for my general, which is, I suppose, you do get a morale shock when your general dies, but they're hard to hit if you're having a loose formation like me, and the general is nowhere near as important as it is in normal Shogun 2. Like, your general can die and you can still win the fight, no problem. So, now we can see not much happening, so I think we're going to fast forward it until we see something happening. So you ready?
Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, fast forward. And I fast forward it, you can just still see a lot of nothing happening really. But hopefully this will end soon. You can just see my guys running around. I'm beginning to take up position anyway, ready for the final assault. While Peter's just
my troop is starting to move as well.
Yeah.
Across the river.
When we fight, we usually like to use cavalry very effectively, especially when we're defending. This time we're not defending, so you're not going to see us bring tons of cavalry. But when you see us defending, we bring tons of cavalry because it's extremely effective.
Yeah, we mainly do that because it's really unexpected by the enemy. If you're defending, the enemy expects you to bring line infantry and melee infantry, whereas if you bring cavalry to the fight and you deploy them outside the walls and they don't have shinobi informer as a retainer equipped, it's going to massively mess up their tactics, because you can go for a quick charge, take out their archers, and they're left to attack you on your terms. So.
And while you're saying that, my Marines in general have been engaging his line troops. My Marines are doing very well. They managed to take out his cannons. We've taken some losses, and he's managed to significantly whittle down these white bears, so that was an effective move. Now we're going to keep this in fast forward because there's still not quite a lot happening. We're just going to wait until the push comes before we put it in slow motion, sorry, normal motion. But here you can see my Marines are letting loose on these guys, and that's the effectiveness or overpoweredness of 150 ranged troops. If you're playing against someone high leveled, you're going to bet they're going to have a couple of them, so you have to bring some yourself, otherwise you're going to be at a disadvantage before the fight even begins.
Yeah.
Now we can just see him trying to avoid my Marines, and I don't blame him because his white bears is now down to a 3rd strength. And I noticed that he's got lots of Bokachi inside his walls. I don't know, that's a good choice. Personally, I'd choose more sword troops to defend once they get inside the walls.
I think his tactic was just to whittle down our troops, because obviously they have the advantage of having greater range than normal line infantry, so there's that issue. But I mean, you know, in melee attack, if you can get Shogun inside their walls, then they're helpless.
Unless they have their own Shogun, which they usually do, but this guy doesn't really have much melee. He's got a line of spear levy, which isn't really going to do much. No. And his wooden cannons have retreated back in for the final fight. I don't think they can do much good though with 2 melee attack and 2 melee defense.
No.
So now you can see things are ramping up a little bit. My Marines are continuing to engage his inferior troops with less range. So he's bringing his bowmen out to try and deal with this. And at the moment he's melee charged with his saber cavalry, my Shigita, which is a really good move because sword troops are absolutely rubbish against cavalry. So that's a good move. But once I bring my line infantry back, he's going to want to stop. So we're going to put this in normal motion now. There we go.
Yeah.
It's because things are starting to get interesting. You can see that your French Marines look like doing some damage.
Yeah. Yeah, he retreated back his men because... oh no, did he? Or did they rout? No, he retreated them back because line infantry just have so much superiority over...
In Shogun 2, we've seen many battles where we've played as Fall the Samurai and they've played as Shogun 2 and they've used Bouroi monks really effectively. But as soon as you let them in that line of sight, they're dead. Pretty much forfeit.
Yeah.
Now here you can see he's trying to balance between going back, trying to put his troops back on the wall, but if he does, our troops will shoot at him with a superior range, so he's kind of in a sticky situation here. So I find this is a good time to start piling on the walls with my Katanakachi. Now these guys are my less powerful guys, so I'm just going to let them take the brunt of this damage that they're suffering now, because these guys are really going to cause significant casualties.
And a good tactic when swamping a fortress like we're trying to do is to evenly distribute your troops around the whole fort. So don't bunch them up on one side. You want to attack from all sides to ensure that they have equal chance of getting up. Because if you focus them all in one point, then he can focus all his troops in one point and just put them, or like just bottleneck.
Yeah, if you can bottleneck your enemy, then that's
them.
great. Especially if you have Shigita and you bottleneck someone, they just cut through him like butter. And Peter here has taken out the enemy tower, which is a very good move because they may look pathetic compared to guns, but they will whittle down your troops very, very quickly. You don't deal with them. So I like that move by Peter there. Looks like your cannons.
So you can see with James taking his Katanakachi in first, my Shogatai are free to swamp his walls, and he's just left his archers and his line completely unprotected while he's just trying to get those Katanakachi out of the fight.
Yeah, so in terms of the opponent doing that, so what do you think they actually could have done to stop this just onslaught, basically?
Well, his micromanagement of his army was pretty poor. You can see his men not properly formed up correctly, they're not in line. He still has his spear levy in loose formation. His line of infantry that are not on the walls aren't facing anywhere in particular, so they can't even take shots at incoming troops.
Also, I can see some damage being caused by these Imperial infantry that managed to get onto the wall there. They're doing pretty well. Those guys, just look at them. They're getting slaughtered. But yeah, what I think possibly didn't work in their favour in the beginning was they probably had too much emphasis on range, which is really risky if your enemy can outrange them and they have Shigita. That is not the sort of thing you want to be doing in Siege.
Yeah, and maybe in the future we'll see a replay of me and James, and our tactic usually is that one of us may focus on melee troops, whereas the other will focus on range. So that means that both of us have a set task to do, and we can focus on doing either the defence of the castle or, you know, by just defending against the troops that are incoming.
Yeah,
so
what I can see here is he's got his white bears back shooting into the troops. He should have been doing more of this. If he did more of this, he would have a chance. Because once they get onto the walls, don't leave your line infantry there because they're going to be forfeit against Shigita. Get them back firing like he is now, but by now it's too late for this tactic to Shogun. And you're about to see some heads go flying courtesy of Shigita mates. Oh, there goes one. That's nasty. That's very nasty. Any closing thoughts as we finish off the last dregs of this army?
Just you need to think about the tactics when defending and attacking. So distribute men equally around the castle so that you have more chance of breaking through on one of the sides. If you're defending, make sure that you're looking at what he's doing and anticipate his movements. And set up your line infantry or your melee infantry to intercept him before he can do any major damage.
You have to have all fronts covered, and also you have to use your advantage. You have to use the advantages you have effectively. Our advantage was the melee advantage and the range advantage, and we exploited that as much as we could. If you have an advantage, you've got to push it. His advantage was that he was inside the fort, so maybe he should have waited for our guys to start coming in before he started shooting. It might have caught us off guard, and you could have shot down a few more of our normal troops.
Yeah, I agree.
And here we can just see that. I'm surprised the game hasn't ended yet. Oh, this one guy. There we go. That last spear levy is still alive, but the game is over, and you can see blood everywhere. And that was a pretty enjoyable fight to watch, even if it did take a long time.
Yeah.
So, I think we're going to end this episode here. If you liked it, subscribe and comment, and we'll see you next time.